David Phelps' name has been synonymous with excellence in gospel music for decades. With a voice that could move mountains and a passion for faith-driven artistry, he became one of the most beloved singers in the Christian music industry. His journey was nothing short of extraordinary, a young boy with a dream who grew into a powerhouse vocalist, touching the hearts of millions worldwide. From the moment he joined the Gaither vocal band, David's presence was undeniable. His soaring tenor notes, filled with raw emotion and deep conviction, became the signature sound of the group. Whether performing a soul-stirring hymn or delivering a triumphant gospel anthem, he had the ability to bring audiences to tears with his talent. Then came the moment that made it impossible to ignore any longer. During a private event surrounded by close friends and supporters, David stepped onto the stage. He smiled, greeted the audience, and began to sing. What followed would leave his fans heartbroken. The truth was about to come out. The moment David Phelps spoke those words, the room fell completely silent. Fans, friends, and fellow musicians who had gathered for what they thought would be another inspiring performance now found themselves on the edge of their seats. Sensing that something serious was about to be revealed, David took a deep breath, his usual confident expression replaced with something more vulnerable, something rare for a man who had spent years delivering powerful performances without hesitation. His voice, though steady, carried the weight of deep emotion. For the past few months, he began, I've been facing a challenge that I never thought I would have to deal with. It's something that has affected me in ways I never imagined, and it's time I share it with you all. The audience held their breath. As David continued, he explained that he had been struggling with a serious health condition, one that had been affecting his ability to perform, his energy, and even his voice. Whether it was a vocal cord disorder, neurological illness, or something even more life-altering, the details were heartbreaking. The room filled with whispers, gasps, and even quiet sobs as he spoke about the struggles he had kept hidden for so long. For years, my voice has been my gift, my calling, he said, his eyes scanning the audience filled with familiar faces who had supported him throughout his career. But lately I had to come to terms with the fact that I may not always be able to share it the way I used to. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that my faith is stronger than ever and I trust that God has a plan for me, whether on or off the stage. Some people wiped away tears while others sat in stunned silence, processing what they were hearing. David, the man whose voice had lifted so many, now stood before them admitting that he might not be able to continue doing what he loved. For a singer whose career had been defined by powerful vocals, this was a devastating revelation. Despite the pain in the room, David remained calm. He assured his fans that this wasn't goodbye, at least not yet. He spoke about taking time to focus on his health, his family, and his faith. He thanked everyone for their prayers and support, making it clear that no matter what happened, his love for music and for the people who had walked this journey with him would never fade. As he finished speaking, there was no music, no grand performance, just a man standing on stage, vulnerable and honest. And in that moment, David Phelps wasn't just an artist. He was a man of faith, courage, and resilience. The news of David Phelps' revelations spread like wildfire. Fans around the world reacted with a mixture of sadness, shock, and overwhelming support. Social media platforms were flooded with heartfelt messages, prayers, and memories of his most iconic performances. Gospel artists, fellow musicians, and even those outside the Christian music industry publicly shared their love and admiration for David, calling him not just a gifted singer but a man whose music had changed lives. Meanwhile, David's life took a drastic shift. His once-packed schedule of tours, recordings, and live performances was suddenly put on hold. Concerts were canceled and tickets refunded, an announcement that left many fans heartbroken. For an artist who had dedicated decades to bringing worship to life through his voice, stepping away from the stage, even temporarily, felt like losing a part of himself. Behind the scenes, his family became his greatest support. His wife and children stood by his side, encouraging him to focus on his well-being. Though David had always prioritized faith and family, this moment forced him to slow down in a way he never had before. He spent more time at home, reflecting on his journey and what the future might hold. Some insiders speculated that he might return after recovery, while others feared this could be the end of his singing career. Music executives who had worked with him for years were unsure how to navigate the situation. Could he continue recording even if live performances became impossible? Would he find new ways to share his talent, perhaps through songwriting or mentoring younger artists? These questions lingered, but no one had clear answers, not even David himself. Despite the uncertainty, one thing remained unchanged: his faith. In a personal letter shared online, David addressed his supporters directly. He wrote about how, even in this difficult time, he trusted that God was guiding his path. He thanked his fans for their unwavering support and reminded them that no matter what happened, music wasn't just about performances, it was about the message, the connection, and the spirit behind it. Though his future remained uncertain, one truth was clear: David Phelps' voice had already left a legacy that would never fade. Months passed and David Phelps remained out of the public eye. Fans anxiously awaited updates, hoping for good news, but he remained silent. Speculation grew: was he recovering? Would he ever return to the stage? Some feared he had already made his decision to step away for good. Others clung to hope, praying for a miracle that would allow his voice to fill concert halls once again. Then one day, an unexpected announcement appeared on David's official social media pages. It was a simple message: "I have something to share with you all. Join me this Sunday." The message sent waves of anticipation through his fan base. Was this his farewell, or was this the moment they had been waiting for? On the day of the announcement, thousands tuned into a live-streamed event. The screen faded in to reveal David sitting in a warmly lit studio, his familiar kind expression filling the frame. He looked different, more reflective, perhaps even humbled by the journey he had been on. With a deep breath, he finally spoke. "These past months have been the hardest of my life. I faced challenges I never expected, and there were days I didn't know if I would ever sing again. But through it all, one thing has remained true: God has never left my side." The words hung in the air as he continued, his voice steady yet full of emotion. He spoke about the struggles, the doubts, and the moments when he thought his career was over. But then he shared the words so many had been hoping to hear: "I'm not done yet." A wave of relief and joy washed over those watching. David revealed that though his journey had been difficult, he had found strength through faith, family, and the unwavering support of his fans. He acknowledged that things might be different moving forward, perhaps fewer live performances, perhaps a new approach to sharing his music, but one thing was certain: his voice, his message, and his purpose were still alive.